Hi friends, thank you so much for joining me. I want to let you know right off the bat, a little reminder, I do have a meetup happening tomorrow, Tuesday the 21st at an Ulta in Chicago. It's the one at the shops at Roosevelt Collection. I will have all the specifics below in the info box, but I really hope you can make it if you're in the area. I would love, love, love to meet you. And I want to tell you a little bit about what's been happening for me this past week. I have been judging the Miss Illinois and Miss Illinois Outstanding Teen Scholarship pageants, and it has just been a whirlwind week. I mean, you don't just show up on the night of finals and start judging these girls. Like, it is a week-long process. You are in interviews with these girls. You are, watching them in preliminary rounds, and it is just such an inspiring, really, week. This is a scholarship pageant, and you've got girls who, so many who are the total package. They're coming in, they're able to carry off a 10-minute interview about current events. They've got an interesting backstory, interesting experiences, tons of time spent doing community service projects, and then they come out looking like $1 million in their outfits and their talent and all the different things that they can do. And I've never actually competed in a pageant myself, but I've always kind of thought, there's got to be more than meets the eye happening here. And it is just a really intense week. I'm really pleased with the way everything panned out. Not that I can really say much specific feedback about individuals, but not to brag on my state, but Illinois has some strong, strong girls. Anyway, my role as a judge with this pageant did involve some very long days. We would usually start off with some sort of a morning meeting, or, one day there were just interviews straight through the day. But things would start early. I would be doing my makeup around 6, 7 a.m. And then even if there might be a little midday gap where I could come home and just hang out, every night there was some form of competition, whether it be the teens, the Miss contestants, prelims, and then the finals. So those would go on pretty late, and then often we would have a meeting that followed, and I would be getting home around midnight, let's say, on average. So staying power of makeup was everything, and I was really paying attention to it so closely so I could kind of report back to you guys about how this went. Now, it's not like I was putting this stuff through the most grueling, temperature conditions. Oftentimes I was in an air-conditioned space, but I was in and out of hot cars a lot, and I do have a tendency of sweating very quickly, and I've got kind of a combo skin type this time of year. More oily in the T-zone, a little bit normal everywhere else. But bottom line, I was not spending time touching up, and that's a long day. That's a long day for makeup to look fresh from 6 or 7 a.m. to midnight. And I wasn't using the exact same products every single day of the week. I was kind of trying some things out, testing certain products against one another, but I've definitely just had a great refresher on the products that really can wear well throughout a long day. It's a big mix of high-end and drugstore, and I'm going to take you through all of the products to go through a full face in this video, and I will be cutting to some demos and just explaining the reasons why. Yeah, after this full week of interviews, I'm like, tell me the why, tell me the reasons, give me concrete examples. So I will be talking about all that. But I must say, I have never received so many face-to-face compliments about the quality of my skin and my eyelashes in my life. Maybe it's just because my fellow judges are really nice people, or maybe it's just because they're of a mind to, consider things like that a little bit more. So while that made me feel really good, it's not that I have great skin, it's that I'm, using some products that can work with the skin that I have, and I think help it look its best. So without further ado, let's jump in. I'm going to talk about a primer that I've been using really consistently all week, and it's the e.l.f. Poreless Face Primer. Sometimes when I dispense this from the bottle, it comes out a little uneven. Sometimes not the texture, but maybe there'll be an air bubble in there or something. But overall, it's been pretty good. It's very silky. It doesn't take a lot of product, so considering that you've probably already put on a moisturizer and then foundation's coming next, I don't always like to feel like I've had to pile on a bunch of primer as an additional step. So it just takes a bit, really slides across the skin nicely, and I think evens out the surface of my skin. Then foundation. This is a biggie. A couple other foundations I used throughout the week, there was a definite breakdown in the T-zone where I was getting maybe sweaty or more oily, and this Clinique Beyond Perfecting Foundation Plus Concealer just it rocked my world this week. I think it really has nice coverage. It does have a little more thickness than some other foundations. Sometimes it's those foundations that don't stay looking so fresh after hours and hours of wear. And this one, I felt like I looked in the mirror, you know, at the end of the night and thought, yeah, everything's still hanging in there. It's not looking patchy. And another thing about the week, you know, when I'm judging, I'm not really thinking about my face. And there were so many times, and I don't normally do this, where I have my hands on my face. And that's kind of a makeup staying power no-no, because it's a great way to lift product off of your skin and start a patchy wearing down process. So I'd be like looking at my notes and I'd realize, oh my gosh, I've had my hand resting there, here, you know, whatever. And it really was unaffected by it. So application wise, you've got this big ol' doe foot, or as I like to say when they're really big, it's a buck foot applicator, and I'm wearing it in the shade Buttermilk. So I kind of dab it all over, and then I do go back for just a little bit more, dab a little extra wherever I feel like product is missing. And then I do like patting this product in with a beauty blender. And this is an e.l.f. beauty blender that I'm trying out, as you see in the demo. And it works really nicely. I got a little trio of e.l.f. sponges and I'm digging them. But get that all blended in. It's a matte finish. It's full coverage, and I just love the finished look. I love how it plays into the whole makeup look. Next key thing that I needed to do, and I needed to do it more and more as the week went on because I got less and less sleep and was more tired, correcting the under eye circles. And so I was reaching for my IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye Corrector a lot in medium because it's a little bit darker than my Benefit Erase Paste, and as I've got a teeny bit more of a tan and even darker circles, like I said, you know, you kind of want to adjust your corrector accordingly. And this did a really good job. It's not quite as juicy, you know, creamy as the Benefit Erase Paste, but it's still got enough moisture in there to where I don't feel like it dries out my under eye throughout the day. And I can even set it with some powder and I don't look like a crepey mess. So I pat that on the under eye, and you can use a beauty blender, you can use a brush. Then I've been setting that area lightly with a little bit of this Milani Multitasker powder in light medium. Light medium is key for me because it is a little bit lighter than my skin tone. So it gives that added brightness to the area that's been neutralized and corrected with, you know, the under eye corrector. So I've been using this e.l.f. brush, getting some product on there, tapping off the excess, and then just dabbing it on the under eye area. It's very mattifying, it's very perfecting. Then I've discovered a new powder, and I'm kind of scared at how much I like this because it is pricey, but it feels like an absolute dream, and it does look very perfecting on the skin, while at the same time not looking like a dry cakey powder. So this process, I refer to this as Chanel because it's a Chanel powder and an e.l.f. brush. This is the e.l.f. Complexion Brush. I use this a lot with a lot of different things, but it's the, let's see, Double Perfection Lumiere powder in Beige Rose 32. And I just kind of dab that all over my skin. Sometimes with powders, I will just focus on my T-zone, but I've been kind of paranoid about staying power all week, so I really just went all over the face with this, and I was really happy with the way that look came off. And sometimes once my makeup is done, I will do a little re-dab, you know, kind of on this area, on the sides of the nose, and I think it just looks extra fresh. Gotta have a little bit of a contour, even if it's a soft contour. I think it really, you know, finishes the look, and a great duo product that I just, every single day this week I've used it. It's the Charlotte Tilbury Film Star Bronson Glow. So this does not look very dark, okay, but it builds, and I think it's the perfect subtle, you know, cheek contour right there. So I've been using that with a little Sigma contour brush, and really pleased with the effect. You know, it's easy, it's quick, it makes an impact without looking like too much, but a big key to the whole skin thing, the whole, like, yeah, you've got great coverage on your skin, but the thing that gives the illusion of actual great skin, I think, is the highlight in this compact. So we're gonna come back to that in a second because I just want to stay in sequence here because I do my blush next. Been reaching for my Down Boy blush from the Balm a lot lately. Total rediscovered blush. It's a cool pink. It's got that nice little brightness to it that I think is very youthful, very lively, very energized, and I've just loved that right on the apples of the cheeks. Now, back to the Tilbury product and this highlight in here, which is just fabulous. I mean, I can't pat this product on the back enough because it really is the difference between a makeup, you know, that is perfecting your skin and then giving people the illusion that you actually do have really nice skin, because this does not look like glossy, glowy highlight on the skin. It's just the look of natural radiance. And I use my Up and Up highlight brush. I take it right on top of the cheeks, like even just on top of the apple of the cheek as well, not just the cheekbone. And something about that, it's like it just gives enough glow to the skin, but you're still able to take advantage of all that nice coverage, all of the mattification that's happened there, but you put this on top and it's like, okay, that's a person's skin. Now, I didn't use this a lot with my look today, but I just wanted to mention it. My Lorac Take Me to Tantigo bronzer palette. It's got 2 matte bronzers and 2 glowy bronzers. They're all like different tones. Each one kind of offers something unique. But this was something where when I was wearing dresses that had a little bit more of the neck and chest area or the arms exposed, I would use this a lot kind of as a body bronzer and maybe a light dusting across the face. So that was definitely a part of the routine at times. Another thing that is a huge difference maker in terms of taking all this full coverage makeup and making it look more skin-like is the setting mist, but applied in the proper way. I think it's very important because one day I kind of screwed myself. I had MAC Fix Plus. I sprayed it way too close to the skin, and just shortly after applying it, I could see like the droplet evidence of that product on my skin. Like I could see the little places because I sprayed it up too close. It was just too much. So this is the Hard Candy Sheer Envy Hydrating Primer Mist, and I use this after all of my face makeup steps are done, and I spray it up. Several mists, like maybe 3 or 4, and I let it kind of fall down onto the skin so you just get the finest application. And it should just be called like good skin spray because that's what it makes you look like. If you've got powders on and you use those powders for a reason because you wanted to set stuff and you wanted your skin to look matte in certain places, this is what you put on top, and it's just like, yeah, it's all my skin. Moving on to the eyes, I definitely bounced around with different eyeshadow looks throughout the week, so I can't really point to one palette and say, you know, it was this thing that had great staying power, but the constant has been my Milani eyeshadow primer. It's a great primer all over the lids. Just dab it out evenly and don't overuse it, and I think you will see, you know, why this is such a great product. So I can put basically anything I want on top of it. For today's look, I used my Modern Renaissance palette from Anastasia, and I did use that a few times during the week, and one just really easy look that is very quick to pull off and I think looks finished is the Buon Fresco shade, which is kind of a dusty lilac. Using that on the lid, into the crease, using this Tempera shade, which is a great highlight. I love Vermeer as something that can kind of brighten up your inner corner and sort of wake up the eyes from that angle. And then Antique Bronze for a little bit of contrast, but nothing that's too terribly deep and dark. So I love that in the crease, outer corner. I would also smudge that onto the lower lash line sort of as a last step to the eye look. So this is one palette that, you know, I was just smitten with it when I got it, and I've been enjoying it so much with continued use. I would say a more important staying power product on the eyes for me has been the black liquid liner that I use, and I've been going for my Jordana Color Envy liquid liner in Black Envy. This is a full color black liquid liner that dries matte, so I love that there's no shine from this product. When you put it on, you look like you have a nice black even line. It doesn't smear off, it doesn't flake off. It is a waterproof product, and it just creates a great wing. It's a very classic liner in the sense that it is a fine brush tip applicator, and I'm very comfortable with that personally. So I've used this all week. If you got watery eyes, if something makes you cry, you know, it still doesn't go anywhere. So it's able to withstand the common day-to-day wear and look just as fresh at the tail end of the day as it did in the morning. If you find this in a store, snatch it up. I personally can't find them very often in a store, so I will buy them like 3 at a time from jordanacosmetics.com, and this is probably my 4th or 5th one. On my lower inner rim, I've kind of been enjoying a little bit more smoky lower lash line look, so I have used something darker on my lower lash line, and this is the Milani Supreme Kohl Kajal liner in Black is Black. It just comes in the one shade, and you know, people will have definitely different experiences with certain things in the waterline because everyone's different in terms of the amount of moisture that naturally collects there, you know? So this has worked well for me. It's definitely one that I can count on, and I will put it on the lower inner rim and kind of smudge it just below as well. And then that's when I'll bring in like the Antique Bronze Shadow, for example, and kind of smudge that as well to get a little bit softer look. I've got an All-Star mascara duo that I'm really just comfortable with. I know I can trust them. I know they're not going to go anywhere. One is Covergirl Supersizer. This is a non-waterproof mascara, so easy to take off. But it does not smear, smudge, flake, or do anything bad for me. So I love that. And then on the lower lash line, I do use the Clump Crusher Water Resistant. Not so much of a problem for me to use the water resistant on the lower lashes because I'm always applying a very light amount of product to the lower lashes. But this, again, does not go anywhere, does not smear, and that is a real problem zone for me. You know, some mascaras will kind of have that transfer problem. Now, I kind of forgot to make note of brows, but I used up a product I've been using a lot recently, which is the ColourPop Dope Taupe pencil. So I used my NYX Micro Brow in Ash Brown a lot this week. So basically my theme has been, you know, using a lighter product in my dark brows just because I have very minimal spots to fill in and it doesn't take much. So I've used this, you know, it lasts all day. I've been a big fan of this because I feel like it's a great alternative to the Brow Wiz from Anastasia. Put a little gel over the top of that and you're good. Lashes. False lashes are another total make or break aspect of long wearing makeup that I don't think a lot of people consider, you know, in the same way you think about foundation or something like that. But certain lashes just don't wear as well, and you can apply it with perfect technique and placement, and certain styles, certain brands, the lash band just is maybe not flexible enough, it doesn't work with your eye shape well enough, and you will start to have that horrible lifting off of the inner part or sometimes the outer part depending on, you know, what shape of eyes you have. I feel I have settled in on the perfect lash to get me through the longest day ever with no problems, and it is the Salon Perfect number 615. I've mentioned these a few times, and they are like a really symmetrical lash. They're not flared out at the outer edges, they're longest in the center. So I feel like when I apply them, I really center them up with the center of my eye, and they feel so light. The band is so flexible, but yet not too flexible. You know, it does kind of mold to the shape of my eye after a few uses. And it's not too long left to right. So not that you couldn't always trim a lash that you thought was too long, but just naturally for me, these don't go too far in or too far out. They just cover the right amount of surface area. They feel like nothing. And I gotta give a lot of credit to the Revlon Precision Lash Glue. If you're trying to track down the ideal, easiest to use, and best staying power lash glue, this is it. So boom, that's what you want to be wearing if you want lashes that just have a tendency, at least for me, of wearing really, really well all day long. And last but not least, I gotta mention lips. I've been wearing kind of a different lip look every day of the week, so I've got a lot of products that I've been impressed with. And as I've said, I don't spend a lot of time touching up. Some days, you know, if I got ready really early in the morning and then I was leaving the house for one of the rounds of competition at night, I might go over my lips again. But I'm gonna say, in some situations, it wasn't even absolutely essential that I do that. And yes, I was eating throughout the day. So the NYX Slide-On Lip Pencils are a must. Fill in your entire lips with one of these and then go on top of it with whatever lipstick you like or a gloss. Lipstick for the best staying power over the top of these works really nicely. So I'm holding here a nice soft pink one called Bedrose. I've got a red tape, I believe. Was this? Yeah, this was the one I wore last night paired with my Siren and Scarlet lipstick from Maybelline. That duo was going nowhere. And I was eating all these little appetizers and fun things and drinking water out of a water bottle, and yeah, we were good. And then for a more orangey red, Summer Tease is a nice one too. But this whole line is a can't miss type of product. There were other times when I was wearing my Covergirl Outlast lipsticks, and these are great for staying power too. This, what was this color? Magnetic Mauve, I wore that. I think I may have worn this red shade as well, which is called Red Rouge. Today I'm wearing a really like kind of comfortable lip combo that has really surprisingly good staying power. These Neutrogena Moisture Smooth Color Sticks really feel nice on the lips, and they last a lot better than you would expect for as balmy as they feel. And this shade is called Pink Nude. I think this is one of their newer releases, and I've got this, you know, applied to pretty much the center of the top and bottom lip. And then I took a little bit of my Touch of Spice lipstick from the Maybelline Creamy Mattes line. Just a great line of lipsticks all around for staying power, and I kind of bumped it up a little bit on the outsides with that shade, and I think these two together are just so pretty. So there you go, guys. What a week it has been. It has been so much fun. It's been so enlightening to be part of this process and really see what goes on, you know, in the pageant world. It's fascinating to me. I'm gonna miss the people I judged the pageant with. Everybody was so cool and so nice to be around, and all of the organizers and all of the people who dealt with us and taught us the things we needed to know were fantastic as well. And again, makeup wise, these are the things that repeatedly got me through entire days, long days, and still left me feeling like I've got decent looking skin. So thank you for watching. I hope this helped you out. Thank you so much to anybody who met me at the pageant or came up to me and said, hey, I watch your videos. I appreciate that more than you know, and I will see you again very soon. Bye.